Hello ladies, in this video I will show you how to change rear axle bearings and seals on a Ford 9-inch. So let's begin. Okay, this thing has 4 bolts that hold this retaining plate on, and this holds the whole axle in place. So these are 14mm nuts over here. We're going to go ahead and take that off. Alright, have the car neutral, and you can put a little pry bar here and turn that until the hole lines up. A little more, right there. So go ahead and take that one off now. Alright, now everything is off, all the nuts. This retaining plate, as you can see here, come right off. And now you just grab this whole axle and it all comes right out. Alright, there's different ways of taking this off. You could put a bearing splitter on here. You could put this in the back, then press it out with a shop press. Or what I'm going to show you is I'm going to cut this here and cut this, and these will come right off. Now one thing to note over here, if you want to know how far you should press this in afterwards, you take a penny here, and you see this shiny surface here? It's as thick as a penny. So that'll tell you if once you press this back in, it's seated all the way in. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Now, if I cut this probably halfway through, you're going to hear like a pop. That means that the whole thing cracked, and you could just slide this off. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this now. Alright, my camera girl got startled over there, so the camera was a little bouncy when that popped. You can hear a significant pop once that thing cracks. So you even have to cut it all the way through. Now if it doesn't pop, you could take a cold chisel and start hammering over here at the cut, and it'll eventually pop. So now this should come off very easily. Just like that. Like butter, baby. Now do the same thing here. I'm going to cut this cage off. So let's begin cutting this bitch. Alright, so I went through the cage and this other outer ring. Let's go ahead and pop this off. Just like that, and this will come right off too. Okay, this one is probably not going to snap, so we're just going to cut it as much as we could without nicking the axle. Then probably use a cold chisel and crack it all the way through. So you can go ahead and do that. Alright, cut it down as much as I could without going to the axle. Now take a cold chisel, and that should crack. You could barely see it, but it did crack. Alright, now that this cracked, this comes off by itself. And you can take the seal off too. Alright, now we rented these tools from AutoZone. There's a free rental program. This part number OEM 27033. It's a slide hammer. And we're going to use this in conjunction with this from the rental tool. It's OEM 27129. And we're going to use these to pop out the race. Now what we're gonna use the middle one. The big one's too big, the small one's too small, so we're just gonna make the middle one work. So all you have to do is thread this on to this. Alright, so what you do is, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna position this a little low and try to grab it a little bit and tap this out. And so right now, all you gotta do is thread this on here, the end of the slide hammer. I should also mention you should put a nut on here to hold this brake assembly together. So this is almost out. And there you have it. Alright, so this is what we're using. We're using the set 20, a big bearing Ford, and it comes with the bearing, obviously with the race for the bearing, the retaining collar, and this unused seal. So we're going to go ahead and set this up on our press. Now, there's different ways of putting this on. You can also put a large pipe on here once you have everything set in place and bang it down until this sets, or hit it with a hammer. But I found that to be a very hard way to do this. So if you don't have a shop press, you could just bring each axle the way it is bare to a shop and have them just press them in for you. Okay, put the retaining plate on first. Next step is I take some rear gear fluid and put it all over here where the bearing and the races and the seal are going to sit. Gonna lube up the shaft, lube up the retaining collar, lube the seal up really good, and the lip over here, put a lot of oil over here. Okay, now this bearing already comes pre-packed, and this grease is compatible with rear end fluid. So you put the seal on top of that, just like that. This goes on the axle like this. And now you can put the retaining collar on. And now you're going to press in the whole assembly just like this. Put it on the press now. In. Alright, so it's ready. I put a little socket here so I can clear these studs as this ram is going down. Make sure also these plates, they don't touch the axle. You have enough clearance around this retaining collar for it to slide in. I'm going to go ahead and go down with this now. And press her in. And we're good. Alright, once you do that, clean it over here, the shaft, for any debris that might have squeezed out. And check your penny. And you see the shiny surface over there? It's exactly the penny width. So exactly where you were last time. And make sure also, all the way around, it's the same thickness of the penny. So we're good, that's in. Alright, so I cleaned this over here with some brake cleaner and I applied some fresh gear lube, rear end lube, and now put the shaft in the hole, baby. Slowly. And you got to get the splines aligned with the pumpkin in the middle. Just like that. Alright, now you can just tap it a little bit. And you're good. And you're able to turn it, so everything is good. Now put the retaining plate back in. And put the nuts on. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and lightly tighten these down, and then once I tighten them all down lightly, then go ahead and snug them down with a ratchet. And they're all tight. And that's how you replace rear axle seals and bearings on a Ford 9-inch. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel, like me, share me. Also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Clowny1969. See ya!